Hello and welcome back to Bernama. Today you're with me, Tamina, and now we move to a focus interview on senior lifestyles and living. And I have with me in the studios Cheah, who is the president of Senior Magazine, as well as Dato Ayob, editor of Senior Magazine, who are here to talk about not only their landmark interview just over the weekend, which was telecast over Bernama News Channel with Tun Dr. Mahathir, Prime Minister of Malaysia, but also their upcoming conference on seniors. Gentlemen, welcome to studios. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you.
All right. So perhaps I'll get it started off by asking you, Dato Muslim. So Dato Mus, tell us a little bit about Senior Magazine and when the magazine started up, and what was the need that you all saw in the market to have this magazine introduced?
Yeah. Magazine started last year, so we're just about 1 year old. This is our second year. We are pleased that our advisor, which is Tan Sri Song, who himself is a very active senior. He's 93 as well. And he's the one with the ideas that we need to have this kind of magazine, because the third age people are not really being catered for as far as their needs and their potential contributions be taken into account, into consideration. Hence, we started this magazine. I'm actually the new editor. There were previous editors. And then we came up with this idea also of having a conference in October on the 6th, in conjunction with the UN Day for Old People, supposed to be 1st of October. And for Malaysia, we also have taken note of this UN thing, and we have what is known as Grandparents' Day, which this year I think will be celebrated on the 4th of October.
Right, so coming up soon as well.
Coming up soon as well.
So Dato Mus, I'm moving to you now, Mr. Cheah. Let's talk a little bit about changing values, especially in Malaysian society, and how that's actually changing the longevity scope for the seniors. Because as of 2010, about 62% of families are nuclear families. Extended families are only about 20% or so. But that also affects the seniors, because they can no longer rely on the extended family network to stay within and also spend their golden years. So how is this also affecting our seniors here in Malaysia?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of effect, especially within the family itself. In fact, yesterday on Sunday, I think there was a rerun of an old movie called Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
So I always enjoy that movie because it brings out a lot of family values, which we tend to forget nowadays, especially the young people. So as a result, you can see a lot of abandoned parents. Very sad to see these people in the street. That particular program that I watched, they are talking about this elderly lady who's in her 80s, and she has to fake her own death in order to bring the children back home. So it's only that time when the children feel, that they need to go back home to see the mother, which is a very sad. It shows that we don't value the person when the person is alive. We only value the person when he's no longer there. And
then we think of eulogies. Now, of course, who can also forget Michael Landon, the title actor in that film. But also, let's move into the reality of the aging population in Malaysia today. So the above 65 population is about 8%. And Dato Mus, you were telling me about how it's going to increase, double in percentage and triple in number, let's say by 2030 or even before. So looking at the framework we have right now in Malaysia, is it going to be a smooth road ahead, or what challenges do you see for the senior population?
Well, I think there'll be quite a lot of challenges, particularly for the seniors, because we are used to certain things. Although we are trying to adapt, keep up with technology, the handphones and WhatsApp and what have you. But there are still a large number that don't go for this latest smartphone system.
They're very technology averse.
Yeah, well, the most they have would be the old Nokia and things like that. So it's important that the government in particular to consider this. At the moment, the fourth age people, the dependents, who are OKUs, they are reasonably catered for. There is a department in the welfare ministry that supposed to cater for them, and we do have old folks home and special clinics and places like that. But for the third age, because we are still kind of healthy, we can still move on and we can still be active. Not much is catered for. However, as far as I'm concerned, I feel strongly that there is a need for us to be able to still contribute and forward our ideas and give advice and things like that. For example, in the case of, say, our currency, our ringgit, the 10 ringgit note and the 20 ringgit note is almost of the same color. And seniors, some of them may not be able to recognize the different colors, or colorblind or something like that.
So you can't also have that without consultation from the seniors.
Yeah.
But also, you brought up a point about seniors staying active and contributing to the community. On that note, Mr. Cheah, just share with us a little bit about the topics in particular which you spoke about with Tun Mahathir. He, of course, is the world's oldest Prime Minister, oldest state leader at 93, and what Malaysians have seen has been truly inspiring. Now, how do we ensure that what we've seen, it doesn't just end with Tun Mahathir, but it also inspires others similarly aged, nonagenarians, or even those in their 70s and 80s to stay active?
For those who have watched the interview with Tun, I think we are all going to be very inspired I mean, he's now the icon for the seniors, not only to seniors, I think even to the younger generation.
Oh, absolutely.
A person at that age can still contribute not only to the community but to the nation at large. So I feel that definitely the senior can play an active role. But in order to play an active role, we must be healthy ourselves. We must to make sure, like what Mahathir says, muscles must always be exercised. So it's just like the brain and the body. If you don't exercise them, instead of just waking up in the morning and not knowing what to do, why not exercise your body and your mind as well? So in order to stay healthy and be able to contribute back to society, whatever skills that you have, in what you have learned. So education is a very important part. So we should make education available to seniors as well.
Yes, continuing education as
lifelong learning.
Now, China, for example, there has been an unprecedented demand with close to 100,000 individuals already going back into the system as retirees wanting to make the most of their time. Are there any programs like that over here, Dato, that seniors can also apply for?
We already have 2 universities.
Oh, I see. Okay,
called
that's wonderful.
U3A, University of the Third Age. But their courses, of course, are short courses, and for example, they do courses on calligraphy, Chinese calligraphy or Islamic calligraphy, and then other things that the various people have their interest on. But we also could cater for advanced education, continued learning. In other words, if some seniors want to do master's program, we can help to place them into the master's program.
Right.
So this is the kind of thing that is interesting and continuing. So the University of the Third Age is handled by University UPM, the one in, where was it?
Bandar Utama.
Bandar Utama. Not University of Bandar Utama, but
within Bandar Utama.
It's a private organization.
So when we also speak about universities and programs that the seniors can go into, let's speak a little bit and move into the conference that you're organizing for the 6th of October. So this one is about aging, learning and technology and enriching lives, connecting communities. Why this theme, gentlemen, for this landmark conference?
Well, we felt that there's a need to ensure that we bring together the various senior organizations. We do have them, the senior organizations, but they're all scattered all over the place, mostly as resident associations and some individual thing. So through our magazine, we're hoping that they will be able to get to people know each other and get together. We will create a database of them so that they'll be able to we will be able to get to them and disseminate information and so on and so forth on what seniors can do and will do, kind of thing.
Right. Mr. Cheah, so we understand that Tun Mahathir has also agreed to be the keynote speaker for the conference. Yep. Now, when did you actually approach him with that? And was it an easy thing to sell to him, or did you have to convince him?
Actually, I would like to praise God for this, because he opened doors, really. And we actually approached him on two occasions. Basically, one is to do the interview with him at Perdana Leadership, and the other one is to give the keynote address at the conference. So quite frankly, we didn't expect him to accept, We thought, okay, maybe he can give a forward and a message and whatnot. But to our surprise, he accepted both. So we are really honored and privileged. And after interviewing him, he actually gave us a lot of encouragement. And I believe he has a message for senior. And do come for the conference, and then you will know what message he has for seniors in Malaysia.
So it's also good to know that the conference has pretty much been sold out, and you are organizing it at PetroScience.
Yes,
but
and there's no walk-in also,
okay,
because
no
just in case if people do come and thinking that is is a public program, but unfortunately we actually have oversold the seats.
I see,
and
which is fantastic.
Next year we're going to have we're going to make it the annual conference. But we're going to put it in a bigger space now. So we want to apologize to those who cannot take part in this time.
Right, but we can be following what's going to be happening on your Facebook page. Where can we find you on Facebook for Senior Magazine?
It's the Senior Mag. It's actually, the title of the Facebook is The Senior Mag.
Okay, The Senior Mag, if you want to follow what's happening
That's
on the Facebook, especially if you're not able to make it for the conference. Hopefully they'll be able to record it from the Bernama News channel side, and we'll be able to play you a couple of live streams of what's been happening over there. So from there, gentlemen, moving into the question of being of an elderly age and combating social isolation. So technology plays a big part in it these days, right? So would you encourage seniors to also get online and stay connected with not just their children and their family, but also old colleagues, people from the past, and why?
Yeah, definitely. The diehards who, just don't want to know how to use a smartphone and things like that, not that many of them. I noticed that most of my schoolmates, classmates and all that, they are onto it, well with it as far as WhatsApp is concerned. And that's how we get together. I'm from the Federal FMC group of the 1960s vintage, and we do get together often, and we get together through WhatsApp. And the thing is, there are other needs, of course, for them to be able to use the technologies to benefit, to their benefit, instead of just relying on the children to help and kind of thing. They should do it themselves. I mean, nowadays you can access the internet and find out all kinds of things. On Wikipedia, for example, you can be well
versed. Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
On history, on geography, on all kinds of things.
Okay, so gentlemen, looking at the average mortality rate of Malaysians, it's roughly about 77 years. But we also, of course, have many others who live way past the retirement age, giving you a rough 20, sometimes even 30 to 40 years. What are some of your hopes and wishes for not just the year going forth, but the future for seniors in Malaysia?
What I want to say here is that it's not about how long you live, but it's about how well you live your life. So that is important. A lot of people, can have a long life, but if they are suffering from illness, because as you know, hypertension, diabetes, all are increasing. Obesity, and that does not hold well as far as quality of life is concerned. So we need to have good quality life. So in order to do that, seniors must be always active, not only physically but mentally as well. Then only you find that they need not spend a lot of money on medical bills and whatnot.
That's right.
So that is the right approach to living.
And Dato Mus, just before we end, share with us what it was like to be interviewing Tun Mahathir during the interview itself. How did you feel?
Well, I was very impressed. He is well with it, really. You ask him any question, he'll be able to answer. And thing is also, the Perdana Leadership building has got the 2 staircases, and he would come down the staircase without even using the railing. He
At
just
93.
walked down.
Now, that's definitely something,
himself.
not just impressive, but aspirational, really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 79, and I had to use the railing.
Food for thought, indeed. So, on that note,
fantastic.
gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. It's been lovely chatting with you, and we wish you all success with not only the conference, but also the coming years for Senior Magazine.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for joining us here. I'm Tamina signing off on Bernama today. We'll catch you again tomorrow.